Okay, my name is Nikiesha Hamilton, and I was born in SUNY Downstate. What's up? On Clarkson Avenue. And I was raised in both Flatbush and Crown Heights. So some of my life, I grew up in Crown Heights, and then for like since I was 17 or 16, I moved here to Flatbush. So I've been living in Flatbush for about 11 years. But in between, I went to college. So I went to American University in Washington, D.C. How long I've been working in Flatbush? Like my whole adult life, yeah. So yeah, since I came back from college, so since I was 21, for about 7 years, yeah. I have my own business called Fenny Creative Studios, which we focus on expanding the creative economy for the African diaspora. My background is government, so I made a transition from government to an arts institution to creating my own business that focuses on lobbying the government for better policies, funding for arts organizations that work with the Black community across the world. I went to high school actually on the Upper West Side. I went to a private school. I got a scholarship through the Oliver Scholars Program. Um, I did the whole application by myself with my father like signing his signature, and that's instead of going to Erasmus, I went there. So Flatbush is a beautiful mosaic. Um, Everyone's flavor is here. Whether you're Trinidadian, Jamaican, Haitian, Guyanese, Panamanian, Dominican, you will find your people here, and you will find better. You will find a community. You will find your people who probably cook arroz con pollo, but then at the same time you can go and eat some oxtail. And so here you will be walking down the street and music is blasting out of every store, whether it's reggae or soca. The streets are jam-packed on a Saturday. Everybody, especially like before school starts, is running to cookies to get their children's outfit. And you always hear about these stories. I was young, so like you always hear about these partying stories and who is here, Bungie or Vibes Cartel. And it's just felt like I always go back to my parents' country, so it just always felt like, oh, Brooklyn is the West Indies. Brooklyn is another country, and there's nothing like it. It gives me inspiration every day. I started my own business, and it's the scariest venture I've ever encountered. And I think that part of the reason why I started my own business is because I lived in Flatbush, and I see the beautiful community that I'm a part of and how much I want to preserve it and how much I want my own community to see how valuable our culture and our arts is. And for me, I started with Fenny because I'm like, I got to do whatever it takes to preserve where I'm at and what I do. And there's times, because I battle with like mental health issues and depression and anxiety and stuff, there's times where I'm stuck in my house, and sometimes I don't come out. And then I step outside and I walk down Clarkson and I smell peppers. And that's something that just cures my soul. And every time when I travel and I come right back home, I take a walk around the neighborhood, even if it's my first day back, just because there is solace in the fact that my people are around me, and that the people that understand me is here, and the people that I fight for is here. And so I think that it's a gift, because it's always been my dream to be able to, as an adult, to live where I was born. And that is a privilege that's not afforded to many people who are from here. So I love it. It motivates me for my job, and it also brings me peace and is my safe space. What connects me to this neighborhood, to this community, is that besides being born here, okay, and raised here and lived here, I've had the opportunity to live in Washington, D.C., in Belgium, in Spain. I've now traveled to 27 countries, and over 60 cities or something like that. I don't even remember. Um, and there's place, no place like Flatbush, Brooklyn. There's no place like Brooklyn. The flavor, the 24/7, the accents, the style, the style. Our people are some stylish people, okay? The passion, the compassion, like you can only find a blend of that right here in Flatbush. And it is a place where we are all immigrants. We are all natives. We are not, well, not natives because we know we're on Lenape land, just putting it out there. But we are all people from something and from somewhere, and a part of something, and a part of a world that's beyond just New York. And we made that world beyond New York right here in Flatbush. And so that keeps me connected because I'm able to walk down the street. I can have my American accent, I can have my Jamaican accent, I can have my Trini accent, I can dress how I want, I can see Prospect Park, I can, there's so many flavors. And I think that being from here activates the taste buds of life. Abundance, I think that is core to community, because once you have community, there is abundance. And we're not going to let each other struggle, and we're going to continue to fight for each other. And so that brings about unity. We are courageous people with a loud history and a loud past, and a courageous history and a courageous past. And I think that feeds the fabric that is Flatbush and gives way to what we built here as a community. So I think all those words feed together, but I think at the core of it is abundance, because there's an abundance of love, there's an abundance of even issues and mistakes, but there's an abundance of community and culture. So I think abundance would be my word. I think housing, education. I've been privileged with a good education. Safety. I mean, we all don't have it like that. Like there's certain basic human needs that we don't have, that everybody don't have in the community, and it is sad because our people have come so far to find a place that they feel safe, and they're still fighting for their lives, whether it's for housing, clean water, because there's some lead poisoning in buildings around here, and some people don't have family. I wish our people had the time and energy to be more civically engaged, because I feel like we're not educated in the ways of government and infrastructure by design, right? Like it should be in our school curriculum. And I feel like if people were civically engaged, I believe a revolution could happen. I want people to understand that Flatbush is a part of the backbone of global culture and history. Just because of the people that live here and the people that work here and have built this community. And we have a whole range of folks. And I want Flatbush to be the capital of the African diaspora, of the Caribbean diaspora, of the world. Of what we have here, what we've created here and have been able to build here because of our backgrounds, our people, our foods. When you hear Flatbush, you know what's up. When you know how to spell Flatbush, you know the energy, you know the culture that we're coming with when you know we're from Flatbush. And so I think that I want Flatbush to be recognized as a global capital, one of the global capitals of the world. Now, I'm not saying all y'all have to come and move here, because we need some housing for ourselves, and I want to stay here and live here. But I want you to recognize how much Flatbush has influenced the world, and defined and in one of the defining neighborhoods of Brooklyn for a reason. So I want to preserve that culture, and I want us to be our own arts and culture mecca, you know? I think that in Brooklyn, what's interesting about Flatbush is that when you go to Williamsburg, it is like mostly Orthodox Jewish people. Or when you go to Bushwick, it's a lot of Latinx people, whether they're from Dominican Republic or mainly Puerto Ricans. But when you get to Flatbush, you're going to find Colombians, Venezuelans, people from Pakistan, people from all over the Caribbean, all over the West Indies, from Central America. And for me, you can come to Flatbush and find anything, eat anything, and see anything, good or bad. And so for me, I feel like that's the capital. Like, Bed-Stuy is mostly Black American influence, and I'm Black American, I'm here, but I'm also a West Indian woman, and that's why I feel like Flatbush is the capital. I know this is going to be weird, but when I'm partying, and that's the Trini in me, when it's carnival, when I think a couple of days ago during Juneteenth, we had Caribbean had a party right by the boathouse, and seeing the community together, vibing, partying, having fun, that just warms my heart. Or when I see community gather at Parkside, whether it is really just just for a community event, somebody's performing or something like that, like, or when we have art, like an art crawl or artwork or what have you, like when the community is partying together, creating good energy and vibes together, that's when I feel the most part of community, because I'm like, yes, let's keep it forever, It was actually very hard growing up Trinidadian Jamaican. First of all, these are two countries with very big egos, one. And two, the insults that would be traded across. And I think it stems from the fact that Jamaica didn't want to join CARICOM in the past. CARICOM is the Caribbean Community it's like an economic council, essentially, of all the Caribbean states. And I used to be so furious because I felt like every time when I was among Jamaicans, and they would say something about Trinidadians, I had to defend my mother and I had to defend my culture. And then when I'm around Trinidadians, I had to defend Jamaicans. I had to defend my culture. And it was like these stereotypes that were assigned to me and to my culture because I came to defense. I think now, us younger generation, we're finding ways to meld our community together and mix our cultures. And we listen to dancehall, we listen to reggae, we listen to soca, we listen to calypso, and I see now we're making an effort more than ever. But there was a clear divide. You had soca party, they don't want to hear no dancehall. If you have a reggae party, they do not want to hear any soca. And so now that has changed, and I think that Flatbush has helped with that. So people of the diaspora who live right here in Flatbush, live right here in central Brooklyn, have been able to bring the community together in ways that, it would have remained divided if we never lived among each other. But it was it was like, I felt like I had to be ashamed, wherever I am. I had to be ashamed to be Jamaican if I was among Trinidadians. I had to be ashamed to be Trinidadian if I was among Jamaicans. But now it's not like that. Now I'm just like, I'm Trin-Jamaican, okay? I think it's the people. I think that for me, my parents, my father's from Jamaica, my mom's from Trinidad. And if they stayed in their countries, they were probably not going to meet each other, And so for them to come here, and find each other and been able to hold on to their culture, it's because of Central Brooklyn. It's because of Flatbush, and that I'm proud of who I am, with all the struggles I face, with all the tribulations, but all the joy and love that I face. I'm proud of myself because I've had this community that people don't have. Like, I meet people from Jamaica and Trinidad, from other states and other cities, and they don't have what we have here. and that's something special. I'm able to eat my food, speak how I speak, no matter my culture, because of my people. Like, they live here, you know?